Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 115 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. Today we're talking about the second step in the goal process that we identified in January. Since we're getting our goals and doing what we want, doing something every day to create and get what we want in our lives, every day this year we're focusing on goals. This month we're focusing on spiritual goals. So the end of the month, did it the last couple of months and will for the next 6 or 7 months. We're going to talk about the last days of the month, the goal process that we identified, so we can take a goal this month, a spiritual goal, and walk it through each of the 7 steps in the goal process. Today, step 2 is set a SMART goal. We want to set a SMART goal for the spiritual goal that we identified yesterday. So yesterday we thought about our current situation with respect to spirituality. We thought about our desired situation with respect to spirituality. We looked at what we didn't want first, which is our current situation, because if we were satisfied with our current situation, we wouldn't set a goal in that area. We're already happy with that. But that's how we quickly and easily identify what we want to create, by looking at what we've got that we don't want. It works in every area and aspect of our life, as well as spirituality. So we did that, came up with an area that we want to improve in some way or change in some way. For me, there's lots of different things we could look at, right? We could look at gratitude. We could look at compassion. We could look at forgiveness. We could look at all different emotions, but we're focusing on spirituality. So we could look at our spiritual practices. We could look at our level of ascension, or any of the topics that we've talked about this month. But what I did is I picked and I chose, and I decided to work in the area of service and how I can make the world a better place by doing something or serving people that maybe are underserved or that need some help in some way. And I have always been interested in helping people with chronic pain. I started a long time ago because I experienced chronic pain in my 20s, chronic pain in lots of different areas and aspects of my life. And so I get it. I know how stressful and how negatively it impacts our life. So I decided that as a form of service, I am going to start a side business that offers products and services that benefit people with chronic pain. Chronic pain is, of course, not you break your arm, you go to the hospital, or you have a surgery and you've got some follow-up care. It goes away in a month to 3 months. Chronic pain is something that usually is systemically wrong with us, that causes us to experience pain sometimes continuously, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes debilitating pain, depends what it is and what the root cause of it is. There's lots of challenges with chronic pain, and I've studied it a lot and worked with it a lot. And I've got people in my family and friend group that also experience and have experienced chronic pain. And it can be debilitating. It will shut you down and stick you in bed faster than anything else. And so I was in that position in my 20s, and I needed to find a way out of it. I found a way out of it, thus being here today. So I want to create and start a business that serves those people. So that's my specific goal. And I'm going to run through the SMART framework with you: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, using this as the goal. So that's my spiritual goal that I've chosen to run through this entire process with. Step 1 was, what's your current situation with respect to doing this? Not much. I've always been passionate about it, always been interested in it, personally experienced it, wanted to do something about it, but it was never really the right time. Desired, I want to, by the end of this year, that's the time-bound part, create a product or service or group or community that impacts at least 500 people. I was going to say 1,000, but I thought I better make it more achievable, so I knocked it back to 500. So by the end of this year, and that's totally measurable, right? Either I've impacted 500 people or I haven't. Either there's 500 people in our group or there aren't. Either there's is it achievable? Yes. Well, how do I know? Because I've created lots of different businesses in my life and lots of different groups and communities and grown them to over 500. So I know I can do this too. Is it relevant? Yeah. There's a lot of people hurting in the world right now, right? How many of you know somebody that has chronic pain or is currently experiencing chronic pain? Almost all of us, right? And chronic pain can have its root in our spiritual well-being and beliefs. It can in our physical, our mental, emotional. It can come from all different places, which is part of why it's so hard to identify and so hard to help people to live with or overcome The pharmaceutical industry loves to put band-aids on things, and they're great at that, yet those band-aids are actually debilitating and causing more harm than good. At least it wasn't my personal situation. Don't know about yours, but often that is the case. So that is my SMART goal for spiritual goal setting process. And then I will work through that through the rest of the steps too, right? So tomorrow, I'm not going to tell you what tomorrow is. Step 3, you probably already know. But today, our action item, pick one goal in the area of spiritual well-being, spiritual health, spiritual growth, spiritual whatever you call it, and take that goal and put it in the SMART framework, right? What is the SMART? Make sure you think about specifically what that goal is. How is it measurable? How are you going to measure it? How are you going to know? And I just said launch one product or service by the end of this year. That was my measurable one. Either I launched it or I didn't, right? It's pretty easy. And if I didn't, then I'm going to find my lessons learned and figure out how I can make it happen as quickly as possible. But I already know I'm going to do it. Achievable, we talked about that, relevant and time bound. So just pick your goal, and you can maybe just share your goal in the comments below and say, I'm done. SMART goal, and then say what your goal is, right? And you can make it succinct and bring it down to one sentence, and we'll know that it has met the SMART framework. Any questions on this? Because today I'm kind of hyper. If I can help you with this, hit me up. Otherwise, have fun with this. The reason we're going through the process every month for each of the different areas and aspects of our life is so we become so comfortable with it that we install it in our subconscious, and we just automatically do this. When we think about something that we want in an area or aspect of our life, we will automatically have this process ingrained in our subconscious, and we'll set it up so that it is that we've formed the gap and all the steps to fill the gap along the way. And that's what this process is all about. So if I can help anybody, ask. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.